What up, James?
What's up, man? Game 7, what does that mean to you? You've longed to be in the playoffs throughout your career, so after you force it, what's going through your mind right now?
Just excited to get the opportunity. Now it's a one-game series, and it's for all the marbles, and I think it's kind of where better to have a Game 7 than the Garden, So I'm really excited about it. Our group's excited to get the opportunity to compete. We haven't won a game there yet. No teams won a game on the road in this series, so we got to be ready to go from start to finish for 48 minutes.
And then how do you think you've grown throughout this series, just as far as figuring out, okay, pick my spots, who I am as a player, things like that, and how can you maybe just know who you are in Game 7?
Yeah, I think just using the experience from every game on a game-to-game basis. There's been some different circumstances every game in terms of, how the game's flowing, how many shots I'm shooting, who's defending me. There's been some different circumstances throughout the series. So just trying to, use all those, put all of them in my toolbox and, use it to the best of my ability going into Game 7.
What was the film session after Game 5 like?
I think Coach just challenged our effort. I think that was the biggest thing. We had some boneheaded things happen offensively, turnovers, and that hasn't really hurt us at all this playoffs. But I think when you go back and look at Game 5, like the majority of everything that affected us was rebounding the basketball. A lot of their points were off second chance, and then they kept rebounding the ball. That didn't allow us to play in transition, so that affected our offense too at the same time. So I think when you go back and look at Game 5, you just really look at the rebounding, and I think it looks like, the challenge is on Miles because it's like, rebounds typically, what bigs do. But I would say that it's more, I think the challenge was put more on us surrounding him, to help him come down and do what we can on our guards to come down and rebound. Herrenstein likes to tip out a lot, so we got to box our guys out, be at the free throw line, be ready to get it. If our guy doesn't crash, we got to go in and help, sandwich the big. I think just trying to understand where we can be better. And I think that when Miles knows that we got his back going to rebound, I think he feels more confident there. So I think he just really challenged our group, 1 through 15, 1 through 18. How can we be better and just play harder for 48 minutes?
And then the timeout that was called right at the start of the second half, it seemed like it was a really key moment. You guys rallied out of that. What was that timeout like on the bench?
Yeah, I think when you go back and look at Game 5, I think Coach did a great job of calling some timeouts to kind of, nip their runs in the bud. And, I thought we did a bad job of just, coming together. I felt like like I talked about after the game, it was like a little frantic, you know what I mean? And I don't know if that was because we were on the road and, whatever the case is, but I thought that that's part of the maturation of this group is just coming together and responding the right way. And we didn't start the third quarter the right way. If you count the three that they hit, before if you count the three they hit before halftime, they really went on like an 8-0 run there, and we had to figure out what we were going to do. We made some shots. Double A had a big tip out that led to a three for me, and I think just figuring out how we can be better and just maintain a sense of urgency and not panicking, but I think urgency over panicking, those are two very different things, and I think we got to do that.
Tyrese, you mentioned it before, Game 7 at the Garden. This is one of the biggest opportunities a player has in his career, one of the biggest audiences, really the biggest that will ever watch you play so far in your career. Can you just speak to what it means to have this opportunity to showcase yourself and your team in front of such a big national audience?
It's just exciting. It's exciting for us. A lot of us, this is our first playoff experience, let alone first Game 7. You know what I mean? So I think we're all excited about it. We got to be ready to go for 48 minutes. Like, the Garden is an unbelievable environment. And the crowd will be rowdy, and we just haven't won there yet. So we got to prove that we're able to do that. And I think it starts on the defensive side of being able to rebound the ball so that we can get out and run and things like that. But I'm really excited about the opportunity. I think that, when you're a young up-and-coming team, it's easy to be like, man, we're never on TV. People never get to see us play. Well, you got to earn it. And I think we're on our way to doing that by winning the first-round series. But, you can continue to do that by winning this series and, hopefully playing the Eastern Conference Finals. So that stuff's earned, not given, and we got to, prove that we deserve that spotlight to be able to do that.
Tyrese, you mentioned how a lot of you guys have never been in the playoffs before. Pascal has. He was big tonight. Can you mention kind of what his presence has meant throughout this series for you guys and kind of leading you through this series?
Yeah, I think just, composure. I think what Pete does, having played in so many playoff series, is he never gets too high, never gets too low. I think he does a good job of, gathering our group when we're excited and things are going well, and does a good job of gathering our group when things aren't going well and we're frustrated, and there start to be some splits and dudes are more consumed about what happened in the past rather than how we can change it moving forward. So I think his experience, his poise has helped a lot, along with our coaching staff and other guys who have been in this. So he was huge for us, getting a lot of early seals, helping rebound the ball. I thought he just played one of his better overall games in a Pacers uniform, and what a great time to do it. And so I'm really excited going to Game 7. We have a good rhythm.
Tyrese, you mentioned you got to stay aggressive. That was something you talked about a lot between Game 5 and Game 6. What's the key to keeping up that aggressiveness in Game 7, and how do you maintain it even if things are not going well in Game 7, as they often can be in the Garden?
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Like, I think just going into it, realizing it's time. You gotta unload the clip. You feel me? Like, you gotta be ready to go from start to finish. And aggressive doesn't mean shooting 30 shots. Aggressive means being a threat, getting downhill, getting 2 feet in the paint is kind of the old school way of thinking. So it doesn't. I mean, I'm not really a box score watcher. I've watched the game. You know what I mean? I watch a lot of film to understand where can I be better. And so I don't really trip off of field goal attempts. Like, yeah, there has been a correlation directly around my field goal attempts and win and loss, but it's not about that for me. It's, can I get 2 feet in the paint and draw help and do other things? So I don't really trip off the box score or anything like that. I just, how can I be aggressive? And I think that, my teammates and coaching staff have done a great job of staying on me. And, Game 7 is going to be an unbelievable environment and something I'm really looking forward to. I mean, as a competitor, what more could you want?
Ty, you mentioned getting 2 feet in the paint. One of the bigger plays in that second quarter is the big dunk from Miles, which comes off of Pascal's ceiling baseline and finding him there. Just what did it mean for those two guys to do everything they could to get on top of the rim tonight? Yeah.
I thought they just did a great job, having their presence at the rim offensively. I think, but when we're able to rebound, they crash 5 guys. So, or sometimes, 4. Most of the time, Jalen's not crashing. But if we can rebound and get out and run, that allows us to get our early seals. We're really being on our bigs more to, get on the rim as much as they can, just to have that presence. And then once we're on the rim, we can start to pull them out and shoot the 3 well, which we, typically do. So I think that those guys did a great job. Pascal setting the tone. Miles had a big dunk there early in the first quarter that got him going. But the more of that we can just get some rim pressure, and it's not always driving and getting layup. It's just their presence of posting and getting out and reposting and things like that. So I thought they did a great job setting the tone.
Tyrese, how'd you feel like you guys guarded Brunson tonight? I think he was 2 for 13 in the first half. Ends up, I think, with 31. And Coach Carlisle said it's relentless with him, endless, what he does. But how you feel like you guys did on him tonight? I
thought we did a good job. I thought AA did a really good job of showing his hands. I thought they hunted a lot in Game 5, put me in a lot of action. I thought I did a better job of, being in shows and getting back to mine and getting to the gaps. I thought we did a great job of not fouling and finishing possessions, which has been the biggest thing. And Jalen is relentless getting downhill. He's an unbelievable player. You just got to show your hands as much as you can, give him different looks when you can, and finish possessions with rebounds, because they really capitalize on offensive rebounds, kickouts, and things like that. But I think for the most part, we did a good job.
Tyrese, Rick mentioned the film session, and then you say challenged your guys' effort. Where did this edge come from that you guys showed up with tonight? Is it as simple as the film session being ugly, or what?
I don't know if it's as much as that, as much as it is just, dudes don't want to go home. You know what I mean? We had to come out and play desperate. I think when you're in the playoffs, they always talk about, the more desperate team is typically the team that wins. And us being down 3-2, the pressure was on us. You know what I mean? They know we got to go back to the Garden and win. But we had to come out and just play harder for 48 minutes. And I think we got to maintain that going into Game 7. But I think as a group, there was never a conversation or a thought that our season would be done today. We got to understand that, we were going to take care of it. We understood that, if we came to play the right way today, we'd take care of business. But, we know we got a big game coming on Sunday, and, everybody's got to be ready to go.
Ty, how do you anticipate a Game 7 feeling compared to anything you've ever played in your life?
I expect probably the most unbelievable environment I've ever played in an NBA game. The Garden is a crazy place with, they got a rabid fan base, and so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about being on the road and doing something that we haven't done this series, trying to win a game on the road. I'm really excited about that. We know storied history of this rivalry between these two franchises, and now we're adding another chapter to that. So, I think we're all excited to go. There's going to be a lot of energy in the building from them and from us, and I think just, weathering our emotions as much as we can. Don't get too high, don't get too low. It's going to be a game of runs, and I mean, historically, me as a basketball watcher, Game 7s are always so ugly. So I expect an ugly game, and I expect whoever plays harder to win, and I'm excited to be a part of that.